Hi, I'm Carrie with Schmidt's Music, and I'm going to give you a brief introduction to the orchestral string family. As you can see, there are 4 instruments, and they can be likened to a choir. You have your violin, which is like the soprano voice. It is the highest of the 4 instruments. And then you have the viola, which is like the alto voice. And then you have the tenor voice, which is the cello. And then you guessed it, the bass voice, which is the bass. Now all 4 have a lot of structural similarities. All of them are going to have pegs and a fingerboard made of ebony, a bridge, tailpiece, tail loop, and button. Now the violin and viola are going to have a chin rest because you play them under your chin, while the cello and bass are going to have end pins because you prop them up on the floor. The violin, viola, and cello have fine tuners, while the bass only has geared pegs. The difference between the pegs and the fine tuners, the pegs are where you can make large adjustments, while the fine tuners make small adjustments. With the pegs, you have to turn it towards you to break the seal, and then once you get the peg where you want it, you push it in order to lock it in place. With the pegs, it is very easy to over-tension the strings and cause one to break, which is why you will first learn to tune with the fine tuners. With the fine tuners, you can make very small adjustments and still change the pitch quite a bit. The strings are made to give if they're under too much tension before breaking any other part of the instrument. The pegs are where you have the most danger of breaking a string, but even the fine tuners, if they are tightened too much, can still break a string or even damage the finish of the instrument. If you notice that your fine tuners are getting too tight, it's time to have them backed out and retuned, which we can do at the store. Another part that all 4 of them use is rosin. Rosin is used to make sure that the bow hair grips the strings and gets the sound that you're looking for. They do have slightly different types though. You have light rosin, which is what the violins use. It is called light rosin because it's harvested in the summer and it's light in color. That is when the sap is the fastest moving, and so it's of the 3 types of rosin that I have here, it's the least sticky. The dark rosin is also known as winter rosin because it's harvested in the winter when the sap moves a lot slower, so it's stickier. It's perfect for a larger stringed instrument like the cello. The viola sometimes uses light or dark. It depends on the instructor or what the player is going for. Now base rosin is different from all of the other ones because even though it doesn't feel or look liquidy, it is a little bit viscous. So if I were to turn this on its side, walk away and come back in 30 minutes, it would have started to run out of its container. Because of the large size of the bass strings, the rosin has to be the stickiest of all. No other instrument besides bass will use bass rosin. Now about the bow, there's a screw at the bottom where if you turn it to the right, it will tighten it, and turn it to the left to loosen. Whenever you go to play, it's very important to not over-tighten the bow. You do not want the bow and the hair to be completely parallel, and you don't want the stick to be completely straight. All you need is to turn it until all of the hair is pulled tight. And that's it. That will give you enough pressure to play. You don't want to touch the hair because the oils from your hands can cause the rosin to clump up and the hairs to clump together. Whenever you are applying rosin to your bow, all you have to do is tighten it as if you were going to play. Grab your rosin and you work it up the length of the bow. The first time you play with a new bow, you will have to put quite a bit, but then each time that you play afterward, you won't have to put as much, just enough to make sure that the bow can grip the string. If you don't put on enough rosin, you're going to get a sound sort of like this. There's nothing on that bow to grip the strings and create a sound, but a properly rosined bow the bow is able to grip the string and get the sound that you're looking for. And like I mentioned earlier, always loosen your bow before you put it away. I've summarized the key points for you on the screen. Feel free to write them down or even refer back to this video as often as you need to until you're comfortable with it, which I have no doubt will be very quickly. If this video was helpful for you, it's helpful for us to get your feedback. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, or even visit us in beautiful downtown Pensacola. And don't forget, we do free delivery to your school, so we're only a phone call away. Thank you and happy practicing.